Thinking about selling your home? There are definitely some things that you never want to say to your agent if you want to sell for top dollar and avoid costly mistakes. Today, we're covering the 10 things that you should never say to your agent and why keeping quiet may actually be in your best interest. Let's get started. Number one, you never want to tell your agent when selling your home that you're not in a rush to sell. Over all the years, I've heard this one a lot, and the reason why I think that many sellers are going to say this is to maybe disarm the agent somewhat, to make the agent feel like, you know what, I'm not desperate. It's not a fire sale. I don't need to sell the house at all. I think ultimately, if you're working with a high quality agent, one with integrity, that this should be more of a collaborative situation where you're working together to discuss goals, and part of those goals are timeline. When do you need to sell by? Is there an optimal time to sell? I think the mistake can really be made when you say, hey, I'm in no rush. I don't really need to do this, because it comes across to the agent as you're somewhat indifferent and not highly motivated. And once again, when you have an agent who does not get paid by the hour, and I think that's an important one. We're not on salaries. We're only paid when you're successful in successfully getting your home, not just under contract, but to the closing table. So if you're going to be putting all this money and effort as an agent on the front end to market the property and everything, how motivated are you really going to be? And how hard are you really going to work for a seller who says, you know what, I don't really need to sell. I'm in no rush to sell. Never say to your agent, I'm in no rush to sell. The second thing that you never want to say to your agent is, this is my bottom line. Now, there are agents out there, once again, who either are not highly skilled, not highly ethical, maybe a little bit of both in some cases. And you don't want to let them know exactly what the lowest price is you're going to take, because some of them, you know what, maybe they're just looking for a quick and easy sale, and you definitely don't want to telegraph that to them, because guess what? Sometimes loose lips sink ships. These agents might be telling other agents in their office, might be telling other buyers at open houses how low you will go. And so you definitely want to make sure to keep that one to yourself. Now, one thing you may want to say to your agent is, you know what, I have a price range in mind, but I'm open to strategic negotiation. The third thing that you don't want to say to your agent is, I won't take less than blank. Ultimately, the market dictates price, not personal attachment. And what I mean by that is, many times I'll have home sellers say, you know what, Kevin, I need to get this much. I have to get this much. And while, I get it and I understand it, and once again, my goal is to work the hardest that I possibly can to get my sellers the most amount of money they can. Once again, the best possible terms, the least amount of hassles and inconvenience. That's always the goal. But in the end, once again, market dictates price. It's not what the seller says that they need to have. So I would just tell you, as a home seller, be open to what the market says. In many cases over the last 4 or 5 years, when price values have gone up, I've had sellers tell me, you know what, hey, I won't take less than this. And I'll look at them and say, hey, I don't blame you, because I think we can get $100,000 more than that. Let the agent kind of lead the way when it comes to telling you what they think the best pricing strategy is for your home. Now, once again, you're always the boss. It's not up to the agent to make the final price, but listen to what he or she has to say to give you guidance as to why it should be priced in this range. The fourth thing to say is, I don't want to make any repairs. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Nobody does at any point in time, but especially when it comes time to selling your house, whether that be getting your home ready for the market or potentially repairs that come up after you go under contract, but prior to closing, maybe from a home inspection contingency. So once again, nobody likes making repairs. However, I do think that what you need to be is somewhat flexible, once again, to the market. Saying you're selling as is, you won't even consider making any repairs, will make you seem inflexible to the marketplace, and you may have buyers who would be very interested in your home walk away. Some small fixes can drastically increase the value of your home. And one of the things that when I'm working with my sellers is, I always come out to their home ahead of time and not only give them an idea of what the market value is of the property, but what I do is I really give them a range based on condition, meaning sell as is, do very little of anything other than maybe, it'd be nice to put the toilet seats down and make the bed and do the dishes, or we can consider doing these items here, in which case a dollar in will get you a $3 to $4 return on the back end. The number 5 thing to never say is, you're the only agent I'm talking to. Now, I will be honest with you, the majority of my business comes from past clients and referrals from past clients. And while these are awesome people to be able to work with, where you've worked together in the past, you know them, they know you, and there's a general understanding of things and there's a general mutual respect, I would still say even in those scenarios, it's best to talk to 2 or 3 agents out there and let that agent know that you are talking to other agents. This way, once again, it kind of sharpens the agent. It gives you maximum leverage when it comes to dealing with your agent and making the best choice for you. Don't pin yourself in a corner and just tell the agent you're the only one that I'm talking to. Number 6 is, I think my home is worth X. Now, why shouldn't you say this? The reasons I find is that home sellers oftentimes are very emotional about their property and really are somewhat, in many cases, detached from reality on what the home value is. So once again, I would say just kind of like where you don't want to tell the agent what your bottom line is, the same is true for what you believe the home is worth. The number 7 thing of what not to say is, what is your listing timeline? Comments like these may make the agent think that you're somewhat hesitant or not committed to selling. And there's no question that a rushed sale can lead to poor negotiation strategies. Now, a better question to ask is, what is a typical timeline for a home like mine in today's market? Now, I'm going to tell you that within all listing agreements, there always has to be a start and an end date. And this is what I would suggest to you. Most of my listing agreements are for 180 days. Now, I realize that seems like a long time, but I will also tell you that in every one of my listing agreements, I do have a termination clause that's written in, and it gives either side the ability to terminate the contract while it's on the market with 1-day notice. So what that means is while your property's on the market, if something changes in your world where, you know what, maybe your transfer fell through, something happened, and now you no longer want to sell, you can terminate the agreement with 1-day notice, and there's no penalty whatsoever. You don't owe me anything. That's a little gutsy on my part because, once again, as agents, we're going out there, we're investing our time, we're investing our money into marketing, and if, every other home seller were to terminate their contract halfway into it, you know what? I'd end up not working in real estate, probably working at Home Depot. Number 8 thing never to say is it a good time to sell? Saying this can make you sound unsure and indecisive. If you're dealing with an agent who is lacking in integrity or maybe a new agent, they're always going to say that now is the time to sell. While definitely there are certain times of the year that are better times to sell than others, there's so many factors involved with what makes the best time to sell. But really what makes the best time to sell is when you're ready. When you are either emotionally, financially, physically ready to sell, and your house is also at its top condition that it's going to be in, that's the right time to sell. And, if you can time that with a better time of the year, hey, wonderful. The number 9 thing never to say is, let's just try it at a higher price and see what happens. What you're going to do is you're going to probably put some questions in the mind of the agent, like, how committed or how serious is this home seller? Is it just they want to go ahead and get me into this agreement, have me invest all my money into marketing and video and things like that, placing signs in the ground, doing open houses just to give it a shot for 2 or 3 weeks and say, you know what? Hey, we tried. You got to be careful with some of those type of things that you say because you might make the agent feel like this person isn't really highly motivated. Once again, as I've said before, this should be a collaborative relationship, not an adversarial one, not one where you're concerned about holding back. It should be somebody that you trust. Once again, should be somebody who has a great track record and great reviews. One thing that I know for sure, especially in a market, once again, right now that's starting to soften, is overpricing can drive away buyers. And the other thing to really know is that days on market matter. When your home comes new to the marketplace, you're like that new kid in school that gets all the attention, okay? While the other ones who've been there for the last 3 or 4 years get zippy attention, but you're only that new kid once, okay? So days on market matter, so it's important that not only do you price the home well from the beginning, but it comes out properly staged, properly marketed in order to drive as much demand and as much interest to your property. And number 10 thing that you should never say to your agent is, I'm just going to wait for the right offer. Now, the reason you shouldn't say this is waiting too long could mean that you miss out on some good offers. And as I've also talked about ad nauseum in this video, is days on market matter. So the longer you sit out there, the less exciting you're getting to your buyers. Some of them, once again, are going to be afraid of you. Others are going to be turned on by you, but not for the right reasons. The good news here is the market always talks to you. You just need to pay attention to it. So if you're on the market for 1 week, 2 weeks, and you've had maybe 1 or 2 showings, I would say right there, that's a red flag that you're probably overpriced for today's market or something's out of line. price, condition. Usually it's a little bit of each. A better statement to say to your agent is, let's see all offers and make good data-driven decisions. So there you have it, the 10 things you should never say to your real estate agent. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Or maybe there's some other statements that maybe you should also hold back from talking to your real estate agent about. As I've said many times before, the relationship that you have with the agent that you choose should really be collaborative. He or she really should be prepared with market data and statistics, also a good, strong marketing plan to show you exactly what they're going to do to draw demand to your property to hopefully sell it for the highest price possible with the least hassles and inconvenience and the best timing for you. If you're watching this video, and especially you've watched it to the very end, there's a very good chance that maybe you're thinking about selling your home. And if you are, and you'd like to speak to me one-on-one about your specific situation, you're going to want to go ahead and scan the QR code on the screen or click the link below in the description box that says Calendly, and this will take you to my calendar. We can set up a one-on-one video conference. I'd love to chat with you guys about your specific situation. Really appreciate you checking out my latest video. If there's anything you need, hit me up, and I will see you guys next week.